Funko Pop needs are there. We have every Funko Pop possible.
Ever made. Some big news happened this week. Speaking of new people to collect locally, the Sacramento Kings finally woke up and made a big move.
Really?
I mean, when the Kings make moves, they're either minuscule, like tiny little ones here and there,
minnow
or
action.
They're gigantic, titanic. Like when we traded for Sabonis, DeMar DeRozan coming to Sacramento, the 34-year-old, wing. Would you call him guard, wing?
He's
guard. What's he going to play? 6'5". What's he going to play?
He's a wing guard. He's a forward, wing guard, forward. He can play.
They said he can play power forward at 6'5". I'm like,
he has played power forward for the Bulls.
Yeah.
Now we're not the Bulls.
Yeah,
just say that we're not the Bulls. We actually are a functional franchise currently, at least. We're not in disarray.
Those past 18
we're making
years,
smart moves. We're doing good job by our fans and by our players, I would say. And DeMar, well, a little bit of cringeworthiness with the not like us stuff, at least on my perspective, a little bit of cringeworthiness there. It is true. There is nothing like the Sacramento Kings fans and Sacramento Kings basketball here in the 916.
I'm excited. I think there was a little bit of kismet in the air when Sabonis changed his number to 11 and 10 became available.
Yeah.
I think Mike Bibby thought maybe his number was going to get retired finally, but no, we're going to give it to DeMar for a couple of years. Just wait a few more seasons.
That's my guy too, so I feel bad.
Let's get him here, but I want to talk a little bit about some of the cards you need to be looking for.
Yes.
I know that Emil recently was taking a look even before the deal happened.
Yeah.
Was looking at a couple. He's in the 09-10 class. So we still had that's the Steph Curry class.
Yes.
So we still had Topps basketball products at this time. You have Topps base, you have Topps chrome. So there were some refractors out there.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, not the best looking card ever.
No. It's the
just
white border, the same one you see of Steph, the famous one of Steph.
Like in a t-shirt
that way,
and a headshot.
Yeah, it's like him wearing an old school basketball tank.
Yeah, it's not they're not great.
One of those and one tanks from back in the day.
Not great photos in those, but those are really good. So we also have National Treasures that year.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
So again, Panini was taking over at that time. So that's
where
you
the transition time.
A little bit of the confusion is that Panini itself was coming into the industry as a licensed product, but Topps was also being phased out. So you're getting kind of the in-between of both. So you have, Topps Chrome, and then the refractors, but you also have Panini. And what I was looking at, because I know we just brought up me on the show, was that I was looking at DeMar DeRozan's 2009 rookie National Treasure Panini at a 49, his patch auto rookie. And I've been looking at it for a while. Well, about 3 days before the trade was official, the card sold under what it was listed for actually as well. And I am a sad, sad boy because I could have really liked that card in my collection now that DeMar DeRozan is Sacramento King. And again, you win some, you lose some. But again, DeMar DeRozan, if you're looking at certain cards, right? Am I hearing something in the static?
That's Imran.
Imran.
Welcome. Hey, bud, how are you?
How'd I get on the show?
I thought you were out in the wild running around. You're just dropping in. I love it.
How's the show going, guys, without me? Is it going well?
Well, it's been the greatest, the most tremendous show ever.
Yeah, much better.
The ratings are just a giant spike here as I'm looking live. Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah. It's weird. Oddly weird.
The listenership went up because me and Beckett are in the car driving to the Sacramento Card Show right now. So you got 2 more listeners than usual.
Well, that's good. That's good to know.
I just wanted to say happy DeMar DeRozan show. This is our first show that we've had after DeMar signed. And I was at the California Classic last week watching DeMar walk in the building. And, man, people are absolutely in love with this scenario. I know that we're one trade away from making it happen. I just want to jump on. I'm on for the next 15 minutes on the road, but I didn't need to stay on that long. I was just thinking we could talk a little bit about what that last move needs to be made and maybe some plays that we need to make in the investment side for people that are interested in picking up a good Kings potential card. And I think it was Emil and I were talking at the shop the other day about some options. And the buzz name that's walking around is John Collins. I don't think Emil said that, but I'm just curious what you guys were thinking as far as who might be that final piece of trade.
Well,
to finish it off.
Yeah, no, definitely. I still am on that. I'm on the Kyle Kuzma train.
I'm more so on that Kuzma
I-
train than the
I'd
John
like-
Collins train. That's for sure.
Just you know what? But I'd take either. I just think the
Okay.
Jazz. I think they're a little. I think Danny Ainge is a little sneakier. Let's just say that, and I'm afraid to deal with the Danny
It's
Ainge.
doing business with the devil. Respectfully, Danny, he's not going to sell for us unless he gets his price.
I mean, look what he did in Boston. He built them,
Yeah,
won a
man.
championship, and then traded all the guys away to build this current championship team, even though he's not there. I like Kuzma. I think that with what he brings to I think he fit better a little bit with the Kings and a little bit more of an upside, I think, than what Collins has. He's showed some regression the last couple seasons. so,
Correct. Or look at Portland.
Yeah.
Portland's got a weird roster. You know who's on that roster?
Who's that?
Robert Williams III.
Oh, Time Lord.
I would like Time Lord and Sacramento Kings for
hurt
cheap.
all the time. He's always hurt. That's the problem.
Oh, I
The
like.
guy will never play.
I'd rather trade two second round picks for him than trade 4 for Lowry.
Or how about his teammate? Is he still there? Thibault goes west.
I'll take Thibault as well too.
Right.
I'll take Thibault and Time Lord.
Yeah.
It's just cheaper. Like you got to look at the options we have here. Like, are we really realistically in the Lowry market? I really don't think so. Kuzma, they're asking for 2 firsts. I don't know if that's a little bit of an overpay. Monty's not going to deal for anything that he thinks is overvalue. Monty deals what he thinks is the correct value.
As a lifetime Kings fan, we've learned that first round draft picks don't mean as much to the Sacramento Kings as they have in the past. Take De'Aaron, take Keegan, but outside of that, we really haven't had much luck on the first round draft picks. I could go all the way back from Jimmer, Thomas Robinson. We just go down Doobie. We can go down the line. Georgios Papagiannis. We could go down the
Bobby
line.
Hurley.
Bobby's was an accident.
Well, he wasn't good
Accident.
before that, though. Let's say that.
Yeah.
So I would just say that the first round draft picks particularly don't have the same weight. And not only that, but no matter where you're at in the draft, you're going to miss. And for every Zach Collins that we draft that we end up trading away, there's a Donovan Mitchell right behind it, right? So like we're in a position to where I don't care about draft picks. I care about having this window and having this window of a deep playoff run. So if it's 4 for Lauri Markkanen, let's make it happen. Truly, I don't care. It'll be a matter of pick swaps and that kind of thing and getting that guy. But Shep, I'm with you, man. I kind of like Kuz on this. Maybe being an energetic off the bench dude, dropping the role, not dropping, but dropping 15 points a game, taking over that Malik Monk role. That'd be great because it's going to be Herder and pick.
Yeah.
Is what it's going to be.
I think that's what has to happen
So-
because I think it gets too clogged. But the other reason I like Kuzma is because I know we have a lot of Kyle Kuzma in the hot corner, and nothing sells cards better than when a guy becomes a Sacramento King.
Nope.
And
I'll tell you what. Yeah, I did a signing with Kyle Kuzma back in 2018,
I'm gonna pick
19.
that name up.
So,
Drop it.
so I have so many wonderful Kyle Kuzma signed on Lakers photos. If anybody wants them, I mean a lot.
Well,
So,
maybe we get ahead of the curve there, and
Yeah. Well, we actually have a question in the YouTube chat right now talking about Kings players that are coming in, and actually we have a rookie coming in that while he won't unfortunately be suiting up in the near future, he will have some cards and products this year. Devin Carter, in the chat by Christopher Ryan. Will there be any Devin Carter rookie cards that are worth anything? What are you guys' thoughts on that? Considering he's going to be out for the first 6 months.
take a look at the late lottery and guys' values, right? So, in particular, this draft in itself is one of those weird drafts that didn't really have. You know what it reminds me of, Shep? It reminds me of the Andrea Bargnani draft.
yeah,
You were very young.
thank
You were
you.
very young and old at that time. Not you, Shep. You were very old. But yeah, like the Andrea Bargnani draft, it was one of those drafts that really didn't have much. How about the Kenyon Martin draft?
2000.
That draft didn't have much to it. I think Kenyon Martin had only one All-Star in the entire draft, and the All-Star was Michael Redd, the second rounder. So I feel like this draft in particular is similar to that. We have a Reese Ashe autograph in our case, and it was like $35. I was like, what? The number one draft pick we have in the case for $35? But yeah, it's that kind of draft. I think the star that comes out of this draft truly is going to be Zach Edey. It sounds weird, but I think he's the guy.
Hello.
You guys are way too high on Zach Edey.
Who's been saying
You guys
this
are way too high on this.
about
Yeah,
Zach?
Ryan Palazzo.
Yes, but I also have been saying that that's the guy that's going to be the guy that he's not, again, not going to be a legendary player. He's might not even crack an all-star team or sniff that. He is going to be a difference maker in the NBA. He's going to be able to just play that high post, run that pick and roll with those guys, and on defense, he is going to be a force in stopping people down low.
He's going to be
rebounding.
15 and 10, 15 and 8, something like that.
I would even take 8 and 12.
2 blocks a game.
You know, 8-12 with a couple blocks. I'm telling Emil looks.
Is
Emil
this real
looks
life
confused.
right now? Are we having this conversation?
Emil
about
looks
Zach
like-
Edey?
Yes, I'm telling. Legitimately, everybody's gonna look back. The top 2 picks, one can't shoot, and one can't rebound.
He just played well last night.
One of them's 7'1" and can't rebound. So tell me how that is.
Sarr?
They said one of his. Or I'm sorry, Risha Shea said one of his issues was rebounding, and Sarr, one of his issues was shooting.
He had a step back 3 yesterday in summer league.
How he said
Devin, I think Devin Carter is going to come into a formed rotation when he comes 6 months from now. Right? We've got the commentary all week has been, oh, is there enough basketballs to go around? Well, with that said, Devin Carter wasn't part of the rotation conversation. It will be in the rotation, but you've got Keon Ellis, you've got Malik, you've got Herder, you've got Keegan. I mean, this guy's going to come into a already 3 to 4 month rotation that Brown's putting together, and Brown ain't messing around this year. He knows that he's got to hit deep into the playoffs, so he's going to try to round out that roster rotation faster than usual. It's going to be tough for this guy to crack it. Look at how hard it was for Vezenkov to try to come back into this, this scenario. It was a tough one. So to answer Chris Ryan's question, I think the Cards will be okay just because of the local, but we saw a softening in Keegan's cards too, Shep. Wouldn't you agree?
No, his stuff is half the price it was rookie season.
Yeah, it is.
And still people love him, but it just
I'm buying Keegan.
Sell, yeah.
I'm buying Keegan. I'm honest with that.
Yeah, and I think I don't think Carter, his game, what he does on the court is going to translate into card sales, because I think what he's going to provide is going to be defense. It's going to be providing being a distributor of the ball, which isn't always pretty, like sexy, to scoring points and making highlights, which sells cards.
Well, Davion 2.0.
So
yeah,
but taller.
Well, the other part about it, guys, is that even though he's going to be out for the first 3 months, the rotational aspect of it, don't forget that the other rookies are getting 3 months of head start on attention. They're getting 3 months head start of eyeballs on them. So by the time that he jumps in, Edey will be doing what he does. Sarr, Risachet, all these guys will be doing what they do. And I think the one that I would consider that's going to be a dog, the 2 people that I'd like to see, I think that will do well, is Vassellus for the Bulls. I think that guy is pissed that he was passed up. He was a top 5 conversational pick a year, 2 years ago. He was somebody that was considered for a number 1 pick. And then I think Dalton Connect is going to be taking Austin Reeves' place. I think Austin Reeves is going to be a little bit more somebody that might be traded because they are the same player, but Dalton's cheaper and Reeves signed a, I think, a very large extension, and he's just not as consistent as he should be. So I think that if Connect fills that role, I think that's there. But you know what? Let's just be honest. Who's the number 1 chasing this whole thing, guys? The guy that shot 3 for 12 last night.
Oh, yeah.
Ronnie James.
Oh,
Brick
my
House.
gosh.
Bricky James. Bricky James. Real quick, Emil, did you know that Zach Edey is the odds-on favorite right now by Vegas to win Rookie of the Year at plus 600?
No, he isn't.
Yeah.
No, he isn't.
He's the favorite right now for Rookie of the Year. So if that doesn't,
that's
when Vegas,
that's Vegas taking people's money. Please don't.
No.
Please do not bet that. Please, 1-800 Gambler. Please do not do that. Please, you're talking to people who do.
It's
do
happening.
Not. Look, my comp for him is Steven Adams. That's my whole comp for Zach Edey.
Okay.
Would you say Steven Adams has a great card market?
No, he doesn't, but he's a really good NBA player that you want on your team. Now, this draft class is not good. This is the 2013 class where it was Giannis, but went 15, and we had to wait 2.5 years for him to become something. There is not he's going to be the difference maker in this draft. This draft is not full of all-stars. This draft is full of role players and secondary stars on teams Nobody in this class is going to be that superstar level.
I just love how you both have mentioned all these rookies and not the one who actually probably has the most hype and probably is the most likely to be rookie of the year this year, which is Reed Shepherd with the Rockets. Yes, absolutely.
Dude balled out yesterday.
He dropped Connect. He dropped Connect on the ground yesterday. Yes, Reed Shepherd. I do not be surprised if the Rockets make a jump this year and Reed Shepherd is in the competition for rookie of the year. I'm being completely honest with you.
I just don't think here's the whenever you look at rookie of the year, it's not only the talent, but it's the opportunity and how many minutes they get. The reason why Zach Edey is odds-on favorite is this guy's going to get 30 minutes a game because there's nobody in front of him to do anything. Whereas Reed Shepherd has to deal with Ben Vliet, Dylan Brooks, Thompson twin. They've got a lot of people. I'm missing Jalen Green, who's
Jabari Smith Jr. is going to be involved in the offense.
You've got a lot of people in front of him. I think Reed Shepherd really comes into play year 2, year 3. Yeah. But I just think that he won't have enough opportunities, Emil, even though I believe that he's a great player. I think that he's going to be like Peyton Pritchard the first year.
Also, too, you got to think TV time too. Jaw's going to be driving Memphis on TV more than who on a really bad Rockets team that's been really bad. They're not going to get as much national TV time as well.
The Rockets only made the playoffs last year. Memphis was worse than the Rockets last year.
Jaw and Steven Adams out all season basically. So.
And do you guys think Edey's starting?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Okay.
I think Jaren Jackson's playing the 5 and Gigi Jackson, who should be the starter, is playing power forward.
We will see. It's going to be interesting. There was a question here about the 90s draft day upper deck giveaway numbered sheets out of 10,000 that were given away at arenas. Yes, I remember those. I remember yelling at Jerry Reynolds in 93, do not draft Bobby Hurley, take Vin Baker, screaming my 13-year-old lungs at this guy. We took him. But yes, no, not unfortunately, those aren't worth really anything because 10,000 of those were given out to 28 arenas possibly. Yep. So there are thousands of those out there, hundreds of thousands, and they're just neat collectibles to look back. But unfortunately, because they made so many, but they at least were numbered. Yes. You had numbered stuff because back in the 90s, 10,000 was limited.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They were just producing them.
Yeah.
Just pumping them out on the sheets.
I love the arguments, though, that this draft class is bringing about collectability. I think it will shake out. But again, buyer beware because you're going to see hot streaks and downtimes of these guys where somebody has a good game or two or a dunk. Because remember that dude for the Pistons a few years ago, Seiko Doumbouya. He had that dunk, and then his cards went crazy for like a week, and now the guy's like playing over in China.
Well, so, look at Cade Cunningham.
I'm not sure where he's playing.
Look at Cade Cunningham, who did just get his rookie extension, absolutely, but he's had a very tumultuous start to his career, and it's the number 1 pick who many thought was going to be a All-NBA player.
Yeah, and the same Jalen Green in that class, the 21-22, who we thought, oh, this is a great class. Come in the shop down in Stanford Ranch and see the box prices of 21, 22 product we have in stock. They're probably 15 to 20% less than the current year product. And this is older products, and there's less out there. Usually the demand's higher, more of it's been consumed already. But when it's lower than current product, it tells you something. Yeah. Hey, these guys didn't really turn out who we thought they were going to be.
I'm ripping from my guy Şengün. I don't know. My guy Şengün.
You know, it's weird. Was he taken after D? Oh, yeah, he was.
Yeah, Thanks. He was. Yeah.
There we go.
It's okay.
Speaking of robberies. The Rockets stole him.
Yeah, we might as well get to this.
The Dallas Card Show, there was like a full-on heist at the Dallas Card Show. First of all, when this came out, it looked to be, hey, someone just grabbed a box, but then their video came out and it looked like people orchestrated this thing. If you're not aware, last weekend down in Dallas, they have a pretty large card show that started out similar to our SAC show here. The one we're going to today.
It's a regional big show.
Yeah, and now it's grown up and it's gotten quite a bit bigger. But over that weekend, there were over $2 million or close to $2 million worth of cards stolen.
Worth of vintage baseball cards stolen from the Dallas. And this is from Fox 4 out in Dallas. Include the rare Jackie Robinson and Mickey Mantle cards that were stolen. And they had a pretty elaborate scheme actually to do this, where they had multiple people involved in this. And they had basically 1, 2, or maybe even 3 gentlemen who would distract the vendor on the other side of the tables while they're cleaning up at the shows. And then the 4th individual would go around. He'd pretend that he was working, stacking chairs, whatnot. And then all of a sudden, swoop in like a hawk and just take a case and walk right out.
Yeah. And I mean, there were, you know, Hank Aaron rookies and stuff in there. So what I've heard is that all of the grading companies were made aware of this, you know, situation. Obviously, a lot of people in the hobby were, but what they did is they actually deactivated all of those serial numbers in their systems.
Wow.
So you can't access or look at those cards anymore. And I guess there are certain characteristics on all of these cards that now have been identified and shared amongst the grading card companies.
Mm-hmm.
So if these cards are cracked, and what that means is where someone takes a card that's been graded and they forcibly break it out, hopefully not damaging the card, but then sending it in and getting it regraded so it would have a new serial number. They're aware of some identifiers on each of these cards, so hopefully that they will be able to intercept them if they do come back to get graded.
Guys, there's no way that this guy, in particular, they got multiple close-ups of the guy that took it, and he has a facial, like he has a goatee and all that stuff. I'm sure that there was some aspect of him not, you know, covering up and kind of disguising himself a little bit. Shaving his goatee is going to make him look different. But there's no way that 3 or 4 people that are coordinated know this and that's the only ones that know it. Somebody bragged to somebody, we're going to do this, or hey, look what we did to somebody. Man, I'd be throwing out a massive reward, like, let's catch this guy, because people turn on people as soon as money is involved. And I'm thinking, like, put that splashy $250,000 reward out there to find this guy, because I cannot believe that a week later they still cannot find this guy.
Yeah,
it's just impossible to me to understand that. And Beckett doesn't. Beckett agrees with that too. That's why he's screaming.
Yeah, I'd agree with Beckett too. I mean, and Fox 4 did list there the owner has offered a $70,000 reward for information, so maybe they should up the price to 100. Maybe get him to squeal a little bit more.
Help us recover these cards, and you get a mantle. You get one of the 3.
Yeah, you get one of the mantles. Yeah, here's $1 million.
Yeah, it's one to me. It's disheartening. I have my friend Steph that I did a podcast with for a number of years is involved. He lives in Dallas, and he is a very active member in that community down there, and knows the owner of these cards. And says, one, great person, very nice man. He and his son do this, and he feels terrible for him. And everybody down there, and I've seen all over the hobby are really trying to do this, but just unfortunate situation. The one thing I can say and learn from this, we do have, like I said, we're doing the card show today, is when you have items like this, it's so difficult to put them, one, out on display. Mm-hmm. 2, I would have personally, like if I had a case with that kind of stuff, it would not leave my hand. Like I'd honestly be holding on to it or not bring it. There's a lot of things, you know, you look back and what ifs, but just listen, when you guys are going out and protecting yourselves, even if you don't have cards to this stature, but you have valuable cards with you. One, they have these cases called Zion cases, and look like that to me was what which have a lock code and can help protect, and you can keep your cards safe and secure. But is making sure when you're at the shows and you keep that in eye visibility. You put the case between your feet, between your knees when you're sitting down. You're physically touching it, so you know it's there. We offer these cases in the shop. We're getting ready to do another order of them.
I have 2 cases as well. I have one at home that's basically a lock safe. Basically, it's password protected. It's carbon fiber. You cannot get into it without knowing the code. No one will know the code except me. And then I have my one travel one that's.
How do you give me the code so that way we know it's protected? I want to just double check it.
You know what's funny about that is that my son Robbie, who's 6, has a little small one. He keeps some of his cards in there. Well, he wanted to do a YouTube video. So we set up the camera and he was showing off his cards in his collection. And he goes, it has a secret code. And that code is 197. Let me put that in. So, if you want to break into his, his card collection, it's 197.
So always keep your cards on you is what we're saying.
Guys, that'll never beat when we're in the store, and I won't say which employee did it. They are still employed by us. And I go, I changed the code to something. And they go, you mean it's not blank, 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 blank anymore?
Oh.
10 people in the store, I go, no, it's not blank, 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 blank anymore, buddy. It's not. It's something different now. Thanks for yelling it out loud.
Yeah.
Chef, it was almost as bad as when you yelled out about the crickets that one time.
Yeah, because there was a giant cricket. It was a giant cricket, and I go, hey, Amber, we got a giant cricket back here, and there was a customer in the store. I mean, it was the size of my thumb. It was pretty impressive. I was impressed.
Honestly, I've seen worse bugs come out of stores, so that's not that bad.
Like it wasn't like a cockroach or a rat or a,
Yeah, but there's some stuff that you just kind of not yell out in front of customers. Alarm codes is one, and hey, we have crickets in our stores.
The funny part is, I think I know who did it. I'm not going to say. I think I know who did it though.
Of course you know who did it. Of course you know who did it.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, I just pulled up to the show. Please come and sell us your cards, guys. We're here at the Sacramento Card Show. It's at the Wyndham Hotel off of Madison, off of the 80. We'd love to see you. We have 5. It's 5.5 if you count Becca here too. So we got 5.5 team members here. Ethan and Dave will be at the shop. Shep will be there after the show. They'll be back in the shop. But we look forward to seeing what cards you have. Bring your DeMar DeRozan cards. We're interested in buying them. We'll buy everything except for 1986 through 1992 baseball cards. Not
Yes.
interested.
Trust me, I tried to sell him mine and he laughed at me.
Yeah, he probably
So
threw it
then I
out
sold
for
them
you.
to myself.
Have a great show,
Imran,
guys.
thank
We'll
you.
talk soon.
Enjoy.
Thanks, Imran. See you out there.
Yeah, just wild and crazy stuff. And like
Yeah.
I said, card shows, it's supposed to be a fun event, and you go out there and to have something like that happen is just pretty terrible. So
We
yeah.
hope that the cards get back into the rightful owner's hands. We hope they
Yeah.
get restored because there's and let me just be very frank with the audience here. There is no place in the hobby for this.
No,
Zero
correct.
in the hobby for this.
And this is a good hobby. I would say like it's a small community. People in it think it's a lot larger than it is, and it's really not. And it's going to be harder to move these cards now and then maybe publicize. We'll see what happens. We'll give you updates as that comes across. Something great this weekend happens. One of my favorite weekends. I've experienced it one time. I went up there, but I have a bunch of friends that did it over years. Is the American Century Golf Tournament up at Edgewood and Tahoe.
Oh yeah.
Lots of celebs up there in town. We know that Big Ben loved going there and doing the golf tournament. But I also heard like Tony Romo, they said I heard him, Mark Mulder, actually better at golf than they were at their professions, football and baseball there. But
You know who else is better at golf now than their profession?
what's that?
Charles Barkley.
Which profession?
Who apparently had his best round of golf yesterday
Oh.
up there at the at Edgewood. So he had a little spot on ESPN yesterday talking about it with Hannah Storm.
Oh,
But no, he actually had a clip going around yesterday too with our Mike Cherry of KCRA3, our partners over at KCRA3, talking about Kings and praising the Sacramento Kings for the signing of DeMar DeRozan, calling him a great player and a great leader. And I got to ask you, Shep, because Barkley, known lover of the Kings, known lover of Kings fans, but to hear national NBA voices talk so highly about this guy and so highly about what the Kings are doing, it feels
odd.
weird.
Yes.
Weird.
It's like my mom telling me that she loves me. It's
Yeah.
It's unsettling. No, I'm just kidding. Love you, Mom. No, it's great. It's finally we're getting our run. And I think now, you always talked about the NBA's try to kill the big three, right? To have 3 superstars on the team with all these aprons and
Mhm.
stuff. I think it's outstanding. It's exciting for us to do that. To get him and have these national celebrities, that talk about the sport on a daily basis, say, hey, look, the Kings actually did something positive.
Yes.
Unlike when we traded for Sabonis and they're like, well, he's going to leave after 1 year. Did you know that? All that fun stuff. All that misinformation that was out there from Jalen Rose and all those guys.
a center that can't shoot. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So thank
wanna
you,
hear it.
Charles.
Sure.
Also, Jerry Rice was up there. He had a really good day yesterday. He
Yes.
was loving on the Chiefs receiving
Oh,
core.
really? Just loving on the
Just dude, calm down.
And if you can't hear the sarcasm in our voices, because Jerry Rice went off on a
Just-
fan
just
for kind of
Dude,
trolling
calm
him,
down. Calm down.
trolling him on
Yeah.
that one. We have something in the chat actually too.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, we have a question from El Lemonapi. I don't know.
There
I
you
can't
go.
pronounce things. There you go. The only Keon Ellis rookie cards in Kings uniform are the autograph Leaf and autograph Panini. Will these be considered his rookie card? Yes,
Yep.
they will. And his Panini ones, especially because they are, what's the key word? Licensed.
Yes.
Licensed.
Leaf
with
is
NBA.
only player license,
Yes.
not team license. Yeah. So the Panini ones where you want their exclusive basketball guys. So friend of the shop, his name's Jay. He goes by Mojo Sports.
Yep.
Got to see one of his best friends as well, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron does not sign for anybody,
Yes.
but somehow Jay and Aaron have a relationship, a brohood. And he was able to get a couple autographs up there of Aaron Rodgers. Even Owen at the shop, Owen that works we hide in the back, was text the other night, hey, playing poker with Ryan Fitzpatrick.
What?
Yes, Fitzmagic.
Owen?
Yeah, hang out with Fitzmagic. Pretty awesome.
Owen's
And
got pool like that?
I'm like, dude, that's
Okay.
pretty awesome. Because he's one of those guys that, again, he played forever. He had like 1 or 2 good years, but never great. But he's I want to say one of the most beloved NFL quarterbacks in the last 20 years, just because of like who his personality, that beard, just who he is. He was
He's
on
a
the
great
league,
guy.
just cool. And it's just wonderful to see all these guys flying to Little South Lake
Yeah.
Tahoe, play a couple rounds of golf, and then all of us get to go up and get to interact. And it's kind of like a route, not super rowdy, but you know, people have a good time up there.
People love Tahoe, man.
And
They
I love
Tahoe.
because they don't let you bring items in to sign.
Yes.
You have to physically wear them. So it's very fun and creative to see the people do that. You know, and as these folks are getting these autographs in person, the reason I kind of bring this up is that, you know, they're wearing a baseball hat and they're getting to meet Aaron Rodgers. It's all sweaty. They've been wearing it all day, and he autographs it. That autograph is awesome, and it's an amazing. It's because it's a memory for you. It's that time and place. Like, hey, I got to meet Aaron Rodgers. Here's that proof. But unfortunately, later on, you know, 10, 15 years from now, when you're like, oh, I'll clean up the garage. Oh, I remember I got this hat signed by Aaron Rodgers, all sweaty, and it's got the old wet, you know, salt stains now, caps all pressed down. And you want to go sell it, and you know, hey, how much? And unfortunately, there's not really a secondary market for that. It's more of a enjoy that piece. It's like that your kid's first, you know, baby shoe or blankie. You know, it's that kind of a thing.
It's what we call PC. Yeah. Personal collection for you, personal.
Yeah, and then just, you know, unfortunately, it does not have a market. I mean, it's even tough. Like, you know, like sports items sometimes don't move that well. Like, you know, autographed helmets are cool, but they're, you know, they're large, so you really have to have space for this. So, yeah, you know, the signed T-shirt, the hat, the random signed index card that you might have, that might be a little more attractive. But again, these are your memories and for you to enjoy. And yeah, so that, you know, like I feel like the Grim Reapers sometimes when folks come in and they have these items and you're like, hey, they're awesome, they're great pieces, but unfortunately, it's not a market, or people bring stuff into the shop and hey, here's a whole bunch of Tampa Bay Rays autographed mem. Okay, well, one, the Rays nationally aren't very sought after.
Correct.
And two, we're not even close to Tampa, so it's really hard to connect with locals.
The worst feeling too, and I know this has happened before because you guys had that DNA PSA drop off, was that, you know, someone's dropping off an item and they're super excited about it getting authenticated, and it comes back, you know, it wasn't real. Yeah, and that's always the hardest thing to tell someone.
I have broken some hearts after we did that PSA drop off. I broke a few hearts.
I heard.
Big Lou, we broke his heart one day because you know, we announced, you know, Willie Mays passed, then Orlando Cepeda, and then he's like, hey Shep, don't break my heart a third time and tell me my Willies aren't legit. And yeah, I did it, Lou, 3 times.
We talked about this recently on a show too, when Willie passed, of how many aftermarket and counterfeit autograph cards are out there, and it's just, you know, it's a gamble. It's a gamble. And so when you are buying these items as gifts, JSA, PSA, DNA, Beckett authentication, Schwartz, Steiner, and Fanatics. Those are the the authenticators you would like to see on your items. Radkey, also there. I don't want to forget them. They're a little bit smaller, but they're in the Midwest. Those are the authenticators you want to see on your items. If you're unsure too, and you're looking to purchase an item, you always reach out and at us at the shop. Yep. Street Sports Cards in Rockland, and we'll be able to kind of help assist. One of my favorite things is I didn't even put this on the rundown, but it has me thinking. The other day we had a couple come in, and her uncle or great uncle had passed and left him a collection, and they brought in just a handful of cards that they thought were interesting. Okay. Now, half of them were just, they're rookie cards, but they're from the 90s. They're $1 or $2. Yeah. And there's some more vintage and a handful of dollars, but they weren't rookies. But then there were some Mantle cards. There was a 39 play ball Lefty Gomez. So there was some more intriguing stuff. And they said, we have piles and we have tons of this. We have those black and yellow totes. We have tens of those stored up. And so it's one of those things like, hey, I want to help you. Like, let's work this out. Maybe we can help evaluate this collection for you. For me, it's not like, oh, this is a great opportunity to go buy. These people don't know what they have. It's, hey, this is an opportunity for us to help educate, see what they have, let them know if it is valuable, if it's not, what to do with it, and what options they have. And that's my favorite thing to do, is to have customers come in that say, hey, this was not mine. I don't know anything about it. Or this was mine 20 years ago. I don't know what to do with it. Yeah. And that's one of our favorite things is to help customers, or not even customers, just folks in the area that don't know what this is, to bring it in for us to help evaluate it and let them know.
and sometimes we find some gold. Majority of the time we don't.
Yeah.
But it's always fun to check out and see what people are collecting at certain times and try to help them out as much as we can. They even had coins. We don't do coins. They also had comics. We don't do comics, but we had leads for them of other people we've worked with in the area that we find respectable,
which is unique.
So we have a like, hey, this is a good
not
guy.
Every shop
recommends.
is like that.
Yeah. I want to be able to help out as people as much as I can. So, if you do have those collections, you're unsure what you have, you can always reach out to us. Even if you don't want to bring it down, we have a shop cell phone, so you can text us photos and we can communicate through that. We went through a guy in the Bay Area, text us about, I'm not joking, hundreds of photos of his stuff. And we went through his collection, but it helped us where he didn't have to bring them up. We didn't have to go down and see it. Technology is a wonderful thing.
You gotta love it that way. And again, while this is a business, absolutely business comes first, but it's also a learning and education. We want to help hobby enthusiasts. I was once a novice. Shep was once a novice way back in the 1800s.
Yes.
We want people to, whether you're low end, high end, just getting started, been gone for 20 years and coming back into it. We want to help you and learn. So please come on down to True Sports Cards in Rockland or give us a call. Shep, the phone number?
916-259-1993.
Yep.
Also, too, I don't know Pokemon. I'm trying to learn. But we have guys that are excellent in that. Ethan and Donovan
Ethan, who's in the chat right now.
And talking, I'm not bringing up his comments because he's talking about the Heat. No one cares about the Heat. We're on the West Coast.
Still trading the wrong
Coast.
point guard. Ooh. Yeah. Okay, Ethan. Okay. Real big talk there.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. It's funny because he's so Miami Heat everything.
I love Ethan. He's great.
We had Jay Will, in the shop, and he's like, you put the wrong promo in the Kings uniform. You should be in the Heat one.
Oh my gosh.
Man, love you, Ethan.
But, I have multiple Heat fans in my life, and Ethan, I will say, is the least insufferable. He's the least insufferable one. There's other ones that I can't stand.
Yeah, it's like they were, they've been, they're like the Celtics.
Yeah, so. He did try help with the King stuff, and he is correct. Keon Ellis does have a Contenders rookie auto. I have actually a few of those. And as well as have his Prism rookie autos. I've been collecting a little bit of Keon. I'm a little bit of Keon stan.
I like him. I think he is our new version of Bobby Jackson.
Oh, I like that.
That energy, that the guy you want to start.
I like that a lot.
But you don't because you can.
Yeah.
But his energy and stuff off the bench, just what he brings.
So valuable.
Yeah. And come to find out, he was, I guess, a really offensively dominated player coming up. And we went to Bama. He learned defense, and that became part of his game. And love to see that.
Which is funny because you know who else went to Bama? Keon Ellis.
Yes.
Look at the correlation.
That's who I was just talking about. Keon.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Bob. I got confused. You flipped my head.
Bobby Jackson went to Minnesota.
Yes. I was like, wait a second. I was like, Bobby went to Alabama?
Yeah.
I was trying to think of
Gerald Wallace, though.
Yes,
Gerald Wallace.
The great Gerald Wallace did, yes.
The Kings were so good, and All-Star couldn't play for him.
Yeah.
That's wild to me.
It really is. Anyway, you know what else is wild to me?
That's that.
The PSA has their own vending machine.
Do they?
They do.
Well,
technically. Might have the branding, but it's not theirs apparently.
Yeah.
PSA, we talked about this last week or the week prior.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, thank you. About PSA having their own branded vending machine in Las Vegas where you can put in $50 and get back a graded PSA 10 card of your choosing, whether it's sports or Pokemon. Now, there's been some more information released about it, and PSA has released a statement saying that these vending machines are owned and operated by an external company who is a dealer of PSA, not PSA themselves. So basically, they submit raw cards of PSA, they get them back, and they put them in there for a repack business. So at the end of the day, this is a repacking vending machine. Thoughts, Shep?
It's confusing because I don't mind it. I think if you're doing something like this, they have these with packs and box, like you can get packs and boxes. We looked into doing something like that. But the fact that it says there is a humongous, it looks like almost 40-inch TV size, maybe 50-inch TV size banner above it that says PSA with their logo. The only difference is the S isn't blue like it normally is. All the letters are red. And so it looks like it, and they have photos of PSA cards on the actual vending machine itself. Yep. So it looks like, hey, this is a PSA sanctioned thing. They do, like they said, it is a certified submitter, authenticator that does these with them, so they know of the person. But unfortunately, they're working in, it says real time to get these fixed. But
which means, hey, take our branding off your thing.
Yeah, or rebrand it because it is confusing. I mean, I like the idea. I heard that they've been completely sold out. I have a friend in Vegas
wouldn't
that
surprise
tried
me.
and said, yeah, it's been
Yeah.
sold out. So, 10s are hard to come across and to get. So it's really difficult to probably supply that. So when that supply does run thin, reloading it, probably not the easiest thing.
But it's a great idea.
Yeah.
And one that I know a lot of people in the industry, and I know you guys have considered it. I know others, like other shops in the area, have been really successful in repacking.
Yeah.
Do you see that being the future, a component of the
Uh,
future of this stuff?
Small, but what's going to kill repackers and they're doing it to themselves. And I'll explain this. So what repack is that card companies make cards, they sell them in boxes, people open up the packs,
Yep.
get the cards out, then they do whatever. They grade them, they keep them, they do whatever. So what repackers do is they go back and they buy the card either raw or graded on the secondary market,
Mhm.
and they look for higher end stuff, what they call quote chase cards.
Yep.
So they'll build a product out and say, hey, listen, each pack is $100. The highest end card is $1,000. The lowest end card is $25. So basically, it's kind of like a lottery ticket. Like, hey, here's the card you're looking for. It's a Luka autograph.
Yep.
Whatever, right? Well, what's happening is that sometimes these repackers are charging hundreds of dollars a pack, and the floor is like a $5 card.
Mhm.
And because the high end card's like a $10,000
Yep.
card, and the floors are too wide, and so people are going to get destroyed. Well, there's only so many times a customer's going to come and give you hundreds of dollars and get $5 back in value before they go,
Oh yeah.
this is not worth it.
As someone who's been in a repack before, trust me,
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm out.
When I look at doing like a repack, if I was looking to buy into a repack, I would want one where the ceiling and the floor are closest together as they can be
Mhm.
compared to what I'm spending. So what I mean is, if the pack's $100, I want that floor to be 50. I
Yeah.
want that ceiling maybe to be 500 or 600, because I'm okay with that, doing 5 or 6x on my dollar, and then I look and maybe lose 60% of what I spent to get into it to take a 5 or
Correct.
6x chance, right?
Correct.
They're going wild, and sometimes these repackers they're changing the market. Like right now, if you go to look to buy a Downtown or a Kaboom or a Case, especially Case Hit, we're seeing hundreds of dollars. Like, for example, Jimmy Garoppolo 49er Downtown.
Yes.
What do you think that card would go for? Just a what?
Like a
guess.
raw- like
yeah,
a raw-
raw Downtown Jimmy Garoppolo.
200, 250.
You're in the neighborhood. We've sold like three copies of that in the last 6 weeks in that price range of $200 to $250. It's Jimmy Garoppolo on the Niners. Now that's 2 teams ago, because now he's on the Rams. He was not really good here. I know he
Didn't
took him to the
really
Super Bowl.
end well. I know Nate can speak on that one.
Yeah, it wasn't real pretty. But what I'm saying is, even that card still commands that value, because these repackers are paying almost 100% on that secondary market to buy those, and they're the ones
Because-
buying them all up because they're wanting people to buy into their break
At
to chase them down.
125.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so it's, for me, if it's done right, it can be a fun thing. We did them for a while
Mhm.
on Whatnot Wednesdays. If anyone remembers, a couple summers ago, the Scorchers and Shep yelling and
Yeah.
screaming all night long with Emran and throwing things down. And, it was fun to do. But again, it was nerve-wracking for us packing them, because it's like, these are customers we had to look in the face, because the majority of the customers that are buying into us
Mhm.
there were locals that were buying online. And you don't
Yeah.
want, my hardest thing is to do something and not have my end consumer enjoy it. And then I have to like, sometimes these online
Yeah.
guys, they're in Cheetos, as Emran says, Cheeto Fingers, Arkansas, doing these breaks for
Cheeto
you and mailing
Fingers.
them out. So they're never going to see you. They don't care about you. It's like
It's a
bit-
business.
It's a business. Hey,
Yeah.
you know what? You bought in, you're bad luck.
That's why it's
Cop. I made the
faceless.
money. Yeah. It's a faceless. It's an impersonal decision. And so just be careful when you're out doing that, because again,
Yeah.
repacks can be fun. But again, they can be one of those slippery slopes where the repackers can take advantage of the consumer at the end of the day.
Correct. And Pegjack has a good question. So repackers could tank the secondary market. Do we think they could tank it, or do you think it's stabilizing it?
I think it's inflating somewhat
Okay.
on certain cards.
Okay.
Not all of it. But it's just it's one of those things where at some point the bubble's going to burst, because these guys either can't continue to pay this strong,
Yeah.
or the consumer's not going to pay as strong, and they're going to pull back. So those guys are going to have to make changes in their business plan,
Yeah.
or they're going to go away. So we'll see what happens. Usually the cream rises to the top.
And especially with there are only 2 cards, I'd say right now, that are really, really doing the movement in terms of repacking that people love. Downtowns, Kabooms.
Yep.
People are paying strong.
Yep.
Because they're putting them in repacks and selling them for even more.
So like even yesterday, Murph, friend of the shop, I know he's a friend of the station too. You know, he's been around for a long time, but he pulled a Quentin Johnston downtown yesterday, and it's, you know, somewhere around a $300 cart. He couldn't believe it because he's like, dude, this guy had a really bad rookie year. It doesn't matter. One, it's a rookie kaboom. Two, it's a kaboom.
Downtown or kaboom?
Downtown. Apologies. Downtown.
They're similar. But
yeah.
different.
But no, it's just one of those things like, you know, they are in demand. You know what else has been in demand, but we don't have any?
What?
2024 WNBA product.
Yeah.
I've had 10 to 15 people in the last month ask us about it. One for themselves. One was like, hey, my daughter wants to collect cards of these gals. Like, where can we get them? And I have to tell them, unfortunately, you got to go back to a Bowman U product from last year. There is nothing out.
I don't get it.
Released by Panini. There's nothing on the checklist. I looked up and down the last couple of days to get some information on any product coming out for the 24 product for WNBA. Nothing.
Nope.
The only thing is that Caitlin Clark does have her own set that came out.
Mm-hmm.
It was through Topps, right?
Mm-hmm.
Topps and did a Caitlin
No,
Clark.
Panini. Panini exclusive.
Oh, that's right. Correct. Sorry, you're correct there. I was thinking of a Topps Now set that she had previously. Yes. There's a Panini Caitlin Clark set.
Yeah.
Of her own. If you want to explain that a little bit, Emil, but there's nothing else yet. If I want Angel Reese,
it's a Caitlin Clark, her own collection basketball trading card. You get them at Target actually as well, at retail price, and it's just kind of Caitlin Clark and some autograph from college basketball's all-time scoring leader, which is Caitlin Clark. So you can get Caitlin Clark autographs. It's just the thrill isn't as much there because it's not like it's WNBA. It's still college Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
And that's the demand is not as high there. I think they're taking a little bit of extra time. I know that Panini has that war right now at Topps and the printing facility and all that great stuff. So it's a little bit extra delayed.
yeah.
Maybe that's what's happening.
They only do like 2 or 3 releases a year, but the fact that there's just nothing, like give the people something because the season's what, 3/4 of the way over?
Maybe they're making it good. Maybe that means WNBA Prism's going to be really good this year.
I mean, I can tell you in the past that product has been for the price point, it's phenomenal fun to rip.
Mm-hmm.
One, they don't make a lot of it, so that means they can load up the boxes and you get lower numbered parallels, autographs come out faster. Yep. Guys, this, you know, I want to see it because the demand's there. Like this is the biggest draft class I think since the inaugural season of the WNBA.
Her and Angel Reese are really good.
Where you know they brought in all the superstars from the Olympic team, and they started the league, and it had all that hype. I remember that. I was in high school, and I remember how huge it was. The Sacramento had the Monarchs, how big this league was going to be, and the fact that it's still here after all these years, you know, 20, almost 30 years later.
It's growing. It's only getting bigger.
And this is a humongous draft class. It's a massive miss by Panini on this.
I would agree.
And another reason why, hey, I'm going to say this on this big megawatt megaphone that I have right here in front of me. I am so happy Panini lost all their license because listen, they do not care about the end consumer of the card.
They don't.
I have a redemption from September of 2021 for a Kyle Pitts autograph. It's worth probably $5 right now. I'm still waiting on it from then. I've even asked. He's had autographs come out in other products, sticker autographs, nothing. I've asked for an update. I get nothing. They don't care. They release a product. They sell it to our distributor. We buy it. We put it out a certain price. Then Panini has it for $60 less on their website the same day.
Don't get me started.
What are you doing, guys? And so that's why I thought they were all high on their horse and they got all their licenses snagged. And I couldn't be happier because, you know, you're a bunch of goofballs. So we got a couple of new releases coming out.
Yeah, and we only have time to do one. I think this is the most important one.
Let's do it.
Topps Chrome Baseball.
Huge.
It's huge.
This is going to be one of the biggest releases of the year. It's going to be very, not difficult to get, but it's going to be scarce. It's going to go fast. And
surprise me.
We are going to, it's at the shop. I know we've already had tons of people asking for it. And I know that it'll go, we're going to have a ton of rookie Chrome autographs. That's the one you want. All etched teams back after about 20 years. So lots of good stuff, shiny refractors, everything good, and on-card autos.
Yep, got the breakdown as well because there's multiple formats. There is Hobby, Monster, Jumbo, Value. I mean, there's a bajillion, but just go off Hobby. 24 packs per box, 4 cards per pack, an auto in that. Price point will be about the 250-ish range, I would say, for a Hobby. And then there's Jumbo, which has 3 autos in it. The Monster is kind of like a Hobby Blaster per se, where there's extra refractors in there, extra parallels in there. So again, go by the shop. Next week it's releasing on Wednesday, I believe. Next week.
And we'll have it on the shelf. It's going to be below $250. I can tell you that. It's going to be a little over $200, but below $250. And then on top of that, the Gemma is going to come out in the neighborhood somewhere between $400 and $500.
Yep.
And somewhere in there, we're going to nail those down. But great product. We can't wait to have it in the shop. It always does really good. And then
Exactly.
it leads into the National, which is the biggest. We'll talk about that next week, the biggest card show
National
of the year.
But for now, we are signing off for another True Sports Card Hour. Emil Fergoso, Tim Shepler. We will be out at the SAC Card Show right after this at the Wyndham off Madison. Go check it out there. Go see us buying, selling, trading. For me, Emil Fergoso, Nate Littlefield behind the window as always, and Big Shep. We appreciate you guys. We're back next week. Love you. See ya.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you.